Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? How you doing? Another fun day of baseball. Game ones are in the books. The Phillies making an absolute statement against the Braves. The Diamondbacks absolutely shellacking the Dodgers tonight. The Rangers taking a tight game one against the Orioles. The Astros taking care of business at home. How you doing, everyone? How you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Right around 100 people to start things off. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is late. It is almost my bedtime. I am getting a little tired over here. I am very glad, though, they did not start the game tonight at 10 o'clock. Remember, they used to do that in the last couple of years, right? 10 o'clock was the usual start time, even in the postseason. I'm thinking, how the heck are you starting these games at 10 o'clock on the East Coast? It's like, come on, you got to help us East Coast people out here. That's too late. Remember, that was before the pitch clock. So these games in the playoffs wouldn't be getting done until like 1, 2 in the morning even. Maybe not 2, but like it felt like 2. So goodness gracious, so glad they started that game at 9 o'clock tonight. I mean, I believe the game, I completely just stopped paying attention to the game. It was 10-0 last time I checked. An absolute onslaught of the Dodgers. I'm pretty shocked about that one. Pretty shocked. We're going to dive into that tonight. We're going to dive into all the action today. The Phillies and the Braves, all eyeballs were on that one. Ended up being a really close game. Phillies walking away with game one. And in my opinion, kind of a stunner. Walking away with a game one victory against Spencer Strider in Atlanta. Braves offense just could not get it going today. We'll dive into that one in just a little bit. The Rangers and the Orioles, honestly, a great game one today. Very tight. Exactly the kind of game I thought it would be. That's the Orioles that I thought we would see. A tough team until the end. I've said that multiple times about the Baltimore Orioles. Even if they end up losing this series, every single game will be tight until the end because that's just a team that keeps it close every single time. As a Red Sox fan, I've seen the Orioles many, many times, especially this year, obviously, and that's just the kind of team they are. And, you know, the Rangers end up walking away with that one. Big wins on the road today for these teams. Huge wins. Games they should not have won, and we'll dive into those. So, everyone, thank you for stopping by tonight. It is late. We got around 100 people in the chat. The goal for tonight, for the likes, I'm looking for 100 likes tonight. Can we get 100 likes, everyone? I think we can get there. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live every single time or anytime I upload a video. Share the show. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. Share it with your family. Share it with your grandma down the road. Share it with your dog. Tell everyone to come on in. Everyone, our sponsor tonight is Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description down below. Let's get that support out there for the sponsor. Very happy to be partners with Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description down below. They got a whole bunch of different ways that you can play. We'll dive into Underdog Fantasy in a little bit. I did make some picks today. I'm going to go over those picks with you. But if you do use my code HYDE, at sign up, you get a double on your first deposit up to $100. And everyone, this is a good time to maybe go sign up for it because you got football tomorrow. Obviously, we got baseball, but you got football on tomorrow as well. So many chances to go win yourself some cash. And as always, play responsibly. And hey, everyone, SeatGeek, we are partners with them as well. Use the code HYDE, $20 off on your first purchase. Hey, if you're going to a postseason game, absolutely take advantage of that. And like I said, you got football, you got all these other sports as well. But everyone, let's get to it here. Let's get to it. Just under 150 people to start things off here. And we have a super chat from Gaming Ghost, $5 super chat, over 100 on. Please be sure to rub that like button. I like that. I like that. Nice and sensual. I like that. Yeah, rub the like button, like he says. Let's get to 100 and more. I agree. I know, all us YouTubers, we like to say, hit the like button, you know. It really does help with the algorithm. I promise you, we don't just say that just to say it. It actually does help. So, everyone, let's get to it here. Let's get to it. So, let's just get to the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Let's just react to that one. I know Dodgers fans, that's a big part of the fan base here on this channel. A lot of my subscribers are from the state of California, so I'm sure Dodger fans tuning in right now are not in the best of moods. And I don't know what to say. I'm a little stunned to be completely honest with you. But at the same time, I'm not stunned by half of it, because I have mentioned many times, leading up to this postseason and then leading up to the division round starting today, Clayton Kershaw, and everyone wonders why is Clayton Kershaw not good in the postseason? Why is he not effective in the postseason? He's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame starting pitcher. This guy is right up there with some of the all-time greats with the numbers that he puts up. The reason Clayton Kershaw is not very good in the postseason, you have to remember here, in postseason baseball, you have the elite hitters, right? Clayton Kershaw through the regular season, he's going to be going up against those weaker teams throughout the regular season. He's going to be facing those lesser lineups during the regular season. So I'm not taking anything away from his career. It's an amazing career. He's also put up some great performances against great teams. But in the postseason, you need your best stuff. And if Clayton Kershaw, who right now, his velocity is not what it used to be. His stuff is not what it used to be. His stuff isn't even what it used to be in the first half of the season. It's just, it's not what it is. And you can even just go look at the numbers here from tonight's start. Spin rates were down. Everything was down. Nothing was good coming out of his hand tonight. And Clayton Kershaw, to me, he's not that guy that I want in a postseason. I wouldn't mind having Clayton Kershaw. Maybe this is a hot take. To me, Clayton Kershaw in the postseason, he's a Game 3 guy. I really believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong. But to me, I need some higher velocity in the postseason. I need some, more sharp curveballs, some nastier sliders. I need that in the postseason. And Clayton Kershaw, to me, while I was okay with him going into this start, because it was Merrill Kelly on the other side, who on his part, he's not really a strikeout guy either. I figured we were going to see a lot of offense tonight, and we did see a lot of offense tonight, only on one side. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the Diamondbacks just had a warm-up series against the Brewers, right? They just got, basically a warm-up for this series here. And the Dodgers, they've been sitting around for a few days. So I guess when I think about it, in hindsight, is this really surprising? The Diamondbacks, like I'm saying here, Kershaw, to me, he's a guy that's just, in my opinion, in the postseason, really hittable. And when you're looking at this Diamondbacks offense with what they were able to do against some good pitching with the Milwaukee Brewers, are we really surprised about what the Diamondbacks did tonight? I thought there was going to be a lot of offense tonight. I didn't think the Dodgers were going to be this cold with the offense tonight. I'll break this down in just a second. I'm seeing a super chat coming on in. Comment752 with a $10 super chat. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? You see the tweet I quoted at you. O's used your preseason predictions in their playoff hype video. Did they really? No way. Did they? I didn't see that. Wow. I didn't see that. That's really cool. I have to go check that out. Also, the O's win tomorrow, and we good. O's have more wins on the road than home. I did not see that. Wow. I need to go check that out. Really? Did they use that? Was that on their website too? Oh, wow. I'm actually pretty curious about that right now. Thanks, Con Man. I had no idea about that. Yeah, Con Man. We'll get to the O's and the Rangers in just a little bit. I do have that for last. I'm going to kind of just go through the games today, and I'm going to kind of circle back to the beginning of the day with the Orioles and the Rangers. Con Man, I love you, my friend. Thank you for that super chat. Do greatly appreciate you. Let's get to it here. Let's get to it. So, Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, basically kind of getting into this today. Huge first inning for the Diamondbacks. So let's actually go to the box scores here. Here we go. This is what the Diamondbacks needed to do. They needed to set the tone right from the beginning. They needed to get it started early, and that's exactly what they did. They were swinging hot bats. I knew there was something right off the bat when Ketel Marte, what was it, the first pitch of the game? I think it might have been the first pitch of the game. He just scorched one out there. and he was a swinging right off the bat. And in the end, he had the double there. Corbin Carroll drove him in with the RBI single, and then it just kept coming. Christian Walker, 2 runs on a double. Gabriel Moreno, 3-run homer. I'm going to talk about Ross Atkins here in just a little bit. Speaking of Gabriel Moreno, Blue Jays legend. But my goodness, the Diamondbacks, they did exactly what they needed to do. They needed to set the tone against a heavy favorite in the Dodgers. And, wow, I mean, you couldn't ask for any more here. Corbin Carroll had himself a big game, homered in the next inning. And that is what it is. I mean, just look right here, right in front of your face. I mean, look at all those numbers right in front of you. Corbin Carroll, 2 for 5 with the homer today and the 2 RBIs. How about Tommy freaking Pham today, 4 for 5? I mean, my goodness, 3 runs scored, an RBI there. Christian Walker, like I mentioned, 2 for 3. Moreno, 2 for 5. I mean, what a great day for the offense today for the Diamondbacks. So this is exactly what they needed. I don't really know what else to say here about this game. It was over very quickly. I was wondering if maybe the Dodgers, if they had answered back with a few runs, maybe there could have been a different narrative to this story today. But in the end, the Dodgers, they just checked out. But we do have a poll going in the chat. Let's actually see where that's going. So, will the D-backs win this series? So as of right now, with the poll, we are looking at, let's see what you guys are saying. We got 150 votes in the poll. Wow. 73% of you as of right now are saying the Diamondbacks will win this series. Man, you guys are very convinced right now. Very convinced. I'm a game-by-game guy, especially when it comes to the postseason. I don't like to let one game dictate things, but this one, man, that was pretty deflating for the Dodgers there today. So luckily for them, they do still got a couple more games to try and figure this out here. And they do have a guy that I think could be a game changer in this series. He's going to need to show it, and that's Bobby Miller. I'm a big Bobby Miller fan. I love the guy's stuff. I love the velocity. I love that he just comes after you. He's a gamer out there. And he's got a tough matchup, though, against Zach Gallen, which is why this just makes it that much more important that the Diamondbacks just came out swinging today. Because if you had a 1-0 lead, and then you got your ace going on the mound for game 2, I mean, that's a great situation for you. And then you got 3 chances to close out the series. I am hoping to see Bobby Miller be that stopper tomorrow. Let's see. Or in game 2, I mean. Let's see if he can do it. You know, Bobby Miller's had a great rookie season this year. Taking a look at the numbers overall, 22 starts, 3.76 on the ERA, a 3.51 FIP. Really solid numbers. You know, the strikeout numbers aren't, quite there right now. He's at 8.6 strikeouts per 9 on the year. But this guy, those strikeouts are only going to go up and up. He's very much like a Walker Buehler. So, but looking at the starts that he has had against Arizona this year, he last pitched against them August 28th, 6 innings, 4 runs. But he did pitch against them a little earlier than that on August 9th. It was in Arizona, and he actually went 6 innings scoreless. So he's had a couple of starts here. One kind of a dud. I mean, he went 6 innings, 4 runs, but he did get the win in there. So if the Dodgers bats can wake up, that's definitely going to help him, obviously. But we know he can shut down this Diamondbacks lineup. So I'm excited to see what Bobby Miller can do tomorrow. But then with Zach Gallen, I mean, this is the guy you want on the mound if you're the Diamondbacks. He got off to a bit of a tough start there against the Brewers in his last start in the wild card round. But Zach Gallen, for the most part, did look good in his last couple of starts against the Astros and the Yankees, and overall had a good start against the Brewers. So this is going to be really tough for the Dodgers here. The Dodgers have had some success against him, though. Sure, 5 1/3 innings, 6 runs in his last start against them, 9 hits off of him, had 4 homers off of him in that start. He did pitch against the Dodgers in his first start of the year, gave up 5 runs, 4 2/3. I still think Zach Gallen, this is a guy, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. Sure, he's not had some success against the Dodgers. I don't think that goes in his, obviously that doesn't favor him very well, but to me, if I got my ace on the mound, I at least know I'm feeling good, no matter what the results are. So I'd much rather have Zach Gallen, who's had trouble against the Dodgers, than anyone else, to be honest with you. So, but I do think personally, if I am leaning one way, I'm gonna favor. What do I know? I'm always wrong with my predictions. My goodness, anything I predict, it goes the opposite way. But I will give the edge to the Dodgers. I expect them to come out game 2, just start swinging the bats a little bit more. I think this is a bit of a wake-up call for them today. They probably went back to the locker room there today, and they're saying, "Wow, we got our Heine's kicked today. Let's wake it up in game 2." So, and Bobby Miller is that kind of a guy where he's a young guy, but he's a fearless guy out there. He just comes after you. I feel like the Dodgers, with that mentality on the mound, I think that can definitely go in their favor a little bit. So I'm expecting a Dodgers win in game 2. But if Zach Gallen keeps pitching the way he has been in the last few starts, we could easily see a 2-0 lead. So this is going to be really interesting moving forward. But let's move on here. Let's get to the game that everyone was waiting for. And we're going to talk about the Phillies and the Braves. This is primetime TV. Everyone's been waiting for this one. Sure, no disrespect to the Dbacks, Dodgers, Twins, Astros, Rangers, Orioles. This Phillies-Braves series feels like it feels like it almost, I don't want to say it feels like the World Series, but it has that much weight on it. There's a lot riding on this one. These are two just really good teams. Obviously, the National League defending champions from last year, the Phillies and the Braves, the juggernaut that they have been this year. So let me actually get the scoreboard pulled up here. I had the wrong scoreboard put in place. There goes my potato brain. And let's take a look here. So as you can see here, the Phillies, wow, give them a lot of credit. Give them a lot of credit. Coming out here in Atlanta with this lineup, with these bats, and they did it. I don't want to say that they are now heavily favored in this series, but they just took game 1 against Strider. That's tough. That's tough for the Braves, man. We'll get to Fried here in just a second, but let's go over this one here today. But that's my instant reaction to this one, where this was the game the Braves, in my opinion, needed to win. Right? Of course, there's 4 more games here, up to 4 more games here for the Braves to, get this right. But I mean, come on. Like, you have your best guy on the mound and you lost it. And now you got to go up against Wheeler and Nola, one of the best 1-2 punches in the game. Despite what Nola has done this year, it looks like Nola has found his form. This is a tough situation for the Braves, in my opinion. This is looking a little scary. If you're a Braves fan, I'm sorry, but this is not looking very good. Not looking very good. So before I dive into this, I'm actually going to edit the poll. Let me know what you think with the Braves and the Phillies. So you all think the Diamondbacks are going to win that series? Okay. Hey, I'm all for it. If the Diamondbacks, if they can win that series, I'm all for it. I'm all for the new blood to start getting some success here in the playoffs. We've seen so much Dodgers, in the past few years. I'm all about getting some new teams in on the mix. So let's get this next poll. Are the Braves in trouble? There you go. There's your poll. I'll check on this in just a little bit. But breaking this one down today, in my opinion, I think the Phillies, they just really stuck to their game today. In my opinion, they didn't try to force anything. They didn't try to do anything crazy. They didn't try to be too aggressive. They just stuck to their game. They knew Strider was on the mound. It's like they just accepted that, hey, this guy's really good. So we're just going to play our game. We're going to be patient at the plate. We're going to have professional at-bats. We're just going to do what we know we can do. And we'll just try to get a couple of runs across the board against this monster of a pitcher in Strider. And in the end, their patience paid off. It took a little bit to get some runs going, but they found the crack that they needed. And in the end, the Phillies, they got just enough runs. We'll get to their pitching in just a little bit. But Bryce Harper, he got the walk in the fourth. Bryce Harper is looking like he's going to have another really good postseason. It's looking that way. But this is where the crack came out. This is where the Phillies found their opening, was when Strider made a pickoff attempt with Harper on first. He went for the pickoff, and he made a wild throw that allowed Harper to move on to second, and then Stott drove him in on the base hit, and there was the crack. There was where the Phillies took advantage. And like I said, with Strider, you just have to take your chances, right, where they come along. It's not going to be easy to get something off of Strider with how good he's been this year. And they just found their opening. And then Harper with the big home run in the sixth inning, that made it 2-0. The Braves had their opportunities in this one. They had the bases loaded in the fourth inning. Michael Harris struck out there with the bases loaded. They had the runners on the corners in the eighth. An amazing double play from Trey Turner. I mean, come on. So the Braves, they had some shots here. They just couldn't get it done. And this is why, I had some people in the chat in the last couple of streams, saying, oh, Robbie, the Braves, they've been playing this, simulated games and whatever. It's not the same. It's not the same. You can, these are guys that you see every day. It's not going to hurt to play the simulated games. It's not the same thing, right? What matters are the guys you go up against that you don't see very often, right? Those simulated games, you know what those guys are doing. You know their tendencies, right? You see them every day. You don't know what these guys on the other side are doing every day, right? So it's a completely different feel. Again, it doesn't hurt that the Braves were doing the simulated games, but it really showed where this offense, how good it's been. This is what I'm saying. If you really think about it today, let me make sure I got this right. 3 of the 4 wild card teams today won game 1. Right? The Astros are the only one that had the bye, and they won game 1. So, honestly, is it starting to feel like maybe it's not such a bad thing if you're a wild card team? I'm just saying, maybe teams going to want to start maybe being okay with being wild card teams. I don't know. It's just interesting because when you're seeing the success, especially in game 1. Right, you'd think game 1 it's going to go to the well-rested team. It's going to go to the team that's got all their eggs in order, got all their chickens in a row. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But in the end, the wild card teams, the ones that have the momentum, those are the ones that most of them took the wins today. But the Phillies pitching came up big. Ranger Suarez didn't go very deep into this one. He went 3 2/3, 0 earned runs, 4 Ks on the day. Give it up for him. Give it up. He didn't go very deep, but he did exactly what he ended up being the guy on the winning side when the Braves had one of the best pitchers in baseball, right? And Ranger Suarez came out today. Sure, it wasn't deep, but he did enough, and the bullpen came in. Listen, this Phillies bullpen, don't underrate this Phillies bullpen. It's really good. It's really good. It was one of the better bullpens this year. I think there's this stigma about the Phillies because remember we had a couple of years over the last 5 years or so where the Phillies bullpen was really rocky. And I almost think it's almost ingrained in our brains that the Phillies bullpen is not good. But no, this Phillies bullpen is very good this year. And they held it down today. 5 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts. The Phillies bullpen, I don't know. I'm just saying. So overall, the Phillies, in my opinion, when I really just look at what they did, they just looked ready today. And they didn't try to force anything. They just let the moments come to them. They just seemed like a relaxed team out there against the best team in baseball. Now the question is, what happens here? What happens here? So let's actually go to the Fangraphs odds. Right now, the odds have swung very, very in favor of the Phillies here. Well, I wouldn't say very in favor. 55% for the Phillies, 45% for the Braves. But that's a huge swing from what it was going into the series. So when we're looking at game 2, great matchup. Zach Wheeler, Max Fried. Max Fried, I just wonder with the blisters, you never know with these blisters, man. You never know. Could something end up coming up in like the second or third inning? Who knows? That worries me a little bit. But when I'm looking at Zach Wheeler, this guy's a postseason pitcher. This guy's good. And I think he's going to be balling out tomorrow, man. I'm a little worried about this for the Braves. The Braves should win this one, in my opinion. They're at home before going back to Philly. You got Fried. Crowd probably going to be on their feet. I feel like the crowd was a little quiet today for the Braves. Was that just me? Maybe I was looking at it wrong. It seemed like the Braves crowd was quiet a lot, whereas like the Phillies crowd was just nonstop, like for the entire series against the Marlins. So I think the Braves, those fans need to kind of get some energy going, right? Yeah, okay, I see you in the crowd. The Braves crowd, they were throwing cans and bottles on the field. Okay, wrong use of energy, Atlanta fans. We need to put some energy into maybe waving around some towels. And I know they're doing, the chop thing and everything. But they need to be like that the whole game. They need to give the energy for the entire game, right? Where it feels like when you're in Philly, it was just nonstop energy, right? Anyway, the Braves, this is a must-win for them. I know that's pretty easy. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's easier. It's just easy to say, considering if they lose, they go down 2-0. But I think this is really a must-win because in Game 3, Bryce Elder, who has not had a good second half, and to me, he's a guy I feel like tops could get. I don't know. What do I know? I'm always wrong. But I feel like 5 innings tops for Bryce Elder, and I don't want that up against Aaron Nola. So to me, I want to tie this series up and then hope my offense can, wake up for Game 3, and hopefully Bryce Elder can give me a decent enough pitching performance. And so we'll see where it can go. In the end, Max Fried is going to have the start of his life tomorrow. If we go take a look at Max Fried, he's had a good year. When he came back from the IL, he looked really good. Overall in the year, 14 starts, 2.55 on the ERA, the 3.14 FIP. Looking at his starts here, he just went up against Philly on September 12th. 5 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks. He did go up. I believe that was his only start against Philly this year. So, with Max Fried, he's going to give you, you're looking at probably 5, 6, maybe 7 innings. I'm thinking you're probably looking at around like 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs. That's enough for this Braves offense. Will this Braves offense wake up tomorrow? I think they're going to have to come out and really swing the bats tomorrow. I think they're going to have to make some noise. They're going to have to set the tone very early against Zach Wheeler. You don't want Zach Wheeler to settle in. You do not want him to do that. If he gets settled in, you're screwed. Here we go. Jaron Wade, $5 super chat. It all started when the Braves came out with the lineup being the way it was and Snit not changing it up. Hate it for Strider. He did his job. Sorry, yeah, you're right in the chat. I apologize. I'm thinking tomorrow. I'm so used to baseball here. I'm thinking baseball tomorrow, baseball every day. No, sorry, Braves and the Phillies Monday night. Apologize for that. Monday night. So, I believe we only have 2 games on tomorrow. Is it 2 games tomorrow, or is it 3? I don't remember. But Jaron Wade, yeah, I agree with you. Strider did exactly what he needed to do. I mean, if we go to that box score here, he looked great. I think Strider, he did exactly what you needed him to do. 7 innings, 8 Ks, 1 earned, 5 hits. That's a great start. It's crazy how the offense, which has been like one of the best offenses we've ever seen, not come up for him in Game 1. So we'll have to wait and see. You guys are right. Bucket getter. Yep. There's 2 games tomorrow. Mike, American Leagues tomorrow. Yeah. You're right. Yes. Thank you for that. I'm tired over here. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime. But overall, this is an interesting one for Game 2. Max Fried is going to have to pitch, and he's going to have to pitch well. So, looking at the poll, what do you guys think? I asked you, are the Braves in trouble? 83% said yes. Man, oh man. Gonna have to wait and see. But let's get back to it here. Moving on here. Let's go to the Astros and the Twins. Let's go to the Astros and the Twins. This one, not surprised about. Not surprised about the outcome today. The Astros did exactly what they needed to do. They needed game one in Houston. They needed to just go out there, set the tone. They're the defending champs. They're at home. Twins haven't won a division round in God knows how long. When was the last time the Twins won a division round? 1991? I think that's 92 maybe. I can't remember. Everyone's happy about the wild card victory, and I am too. I love that the Twins finally won one. But against the Astros, if the Twins want to get past the divisional round, they needed to make some noise today, and they needed to make a statement, and they couldn't get it done, which is not easy. It's easier said than done. The Astros are a great team. Say what you will. Maybe they haven't looked like the old Astros here this year. They've had their ups and downs this year. They've had some troubles with pitching. They've had some cold offenses at times. But the Astros are the Astros at the end of the day. They are built for the postseason. So looking at the Astros here today, my just overall reaction to this, they kept things like it usually is, right? This is the Astros that we know. They just go out there, they play professional baseball, they have professional at-bats, tough at-bats, get some good pitching. They just look like a great team, right? And I'm not surprised about this outcome here today. The Twins, in my opinion, yeah, they look good there. They were making the comeback in the 7th inning. They got the 3-run bomb from Polanco. Then they got the back-to-back with Royce Lewis. There was some energy there. Now, if that was at home, this is where I think it's so important to have the home field advantage, because I guarantee you, if the Twins were doing that today, they got the back-to-back homers in Minnesota, that place would be shaking, and I guarantee the Twins would have rode that momentum. But this is where the Astros, who have not been great at home this year, that's where the home field advantage comes into play. But in the end, they got the homer from Altuve early on. That set the tone. Alvarez with the big 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. It just felt like at that point, with Verlander was pitching really solid today, it just felt like the Astros just had it. Then the Twins are making it spicy there. In the end, just not enough. The Twins did have some chances. Kirilloff, he struck out in the 7th, had a runner on second base. Michael Taylor back in the 2nd inning, he had a runner on second. He grounded into the double play. So the Twins had some chances today. In the end, they just couldn't come up with it. They did have Bailey Ober going today. I thought we were probably going to see Joe Ryan today, and ended up being Bailey Ober instead. So in the end, it wasn't the best option for the Twins to go with. I still think, with the Twins, it's kind of one of those things where, you're looking at Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray. When you got those guys on the mound, that's where you're looking to win some games. So Justin Verlander, he's Justin Verlander at the end of the day. Not surprised he was able to pick up the win today. And actually, just looking at the box score, just to give the credit where it's due, looking at his final line today, solid game for him today. 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned, 6 Ks, 93 pitches overall. Did give up a lot of hard hit balls. In the end, the bullpen, Hector Neris, this guy really, like I said, they had the comeback going there. Neris really struggled there today, but Brian Abreu, who I think is such an underrated guy in this league, he came out. He, gave up the couple of hits, but he struck out the 3 guys. Presley coming on, locking it down in the end. This Astros bullpen, it's had their problems this year. But I love the back end of it. I love the guys they got at the back. You got Presley, you got Abreu. Neris is usually better than this, but they got some slingers at the back end of it. So the Astros bullpen, I think it's, if you can just get to those guys, I think the Astros is going to be really tough to beat. So looking at the rest of the series, you got Pablo Lopez tomorrow, and then you got Framber Valdez. I actually do lean Twins here. If the Twins can pick up a win going back to Minnesota, that's going to be great. That's going to be a good momentum shift if they can do it. Lopez looked good there against the Blue Jays. Let's see if he can keep the momentum going. When it comes to Pablo Lopez, he's had a really solid year. 32 starts overall, just under 200 innings pitched, 3.66 on the ERA, 3.33 on the FIP. I believe he has had a start. Actually, has he had a start against Houston? He has not had a start against Houston this year. I thought I'm thinking of Sonny Gray. But, hey, this could go in their favor as well. Haven't seen Pablo Lopez this year, so that's definitely going to go in their favor. While Framber Valdez, listen, I'm a big fan of Framber Valdez. Hey, he's picked my Red Sox apart a couple of times, but he has not looked great in the last couple of starts. You know, he had the Mariners there, 4 innings, 3 runs. Not the worst start you can have, but it wasn't great. He got knocked around by Kansas City on September 22nd, 7 runs given up. He did strike out 10, but, you know, Framber Valdez, he's looking a little shaky lately, and the Twins' bats, they are looking, you know, go back to the series that they just had. They were getting the timely hits. That's what they're showing, that they're good at doing this. They're coming up with those big knocks when they need them, right? Like today, even though they didn't come up with the win, they got the back-to-back homers. You know, they tried to make it something, and in the end, didn't fully come around for them. Go back to the Blue Jays series, though. You know, didn't really put up a lot of offense, but they got the hits when they needed them. If they can do that tomorrow with their guy on the mound, Pablo Lopez, hey, I think we could have a 1-1 series going back to Minnesota, and then you'd have an interesting matchup with Sonny Gray and Christian Javier. So we'll have to wait and see on this. I'm very interested in the game 2, so that's going to be tomorrow. And let's see how that goes. Let me put up the poll here. Let me make sure I'm adjusting the polls. So final vote on the Braves. Are the Braves in trouble? 81% of you say yes. Man, oh man. So let me put up a new poll. Let's do this. I'll just ask a simple one. Who will win game 2? Astros. I'll even put Pablo Lopez starting. And then for... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I got that mixed up. My potato brain just came out. I'll put Twins with Pablo Lopez. And then Astros with Framber Valdez. All right. New poll is up. Get to voting, people. Get to voting. Michael Brodigan, how you doing? $2 super chat. If the Phillies win game 2, it's over. I got to agree with you at that point. I will never say it's over until it's over, especially with the Braves. You know, who knows? Phillies take a 2-0 series lead. All of a sudden, the Braves are just kicking the crap out of the Phillies with their offense. They have that offense to where it could wake up and cause some nightmares. So I will never say it's over until the fat lady sings. But if Philly's up 2-0, that's tough. Right? Because you're going to have Wheeler for game 2, and then if you got Nola for game 3 to try to close it out, you got a great shot. So let's get to the final game here of the day, which was the first game of the day. And we got the Rangers and the Orioles. I was actually pretty excited for this one. This, to me, you know, makes me think of the mid-2010s, right? You had those Rangers teams, those Orioles teams making the playoffs. Gave me that kind of a vibe. And, hey, I was excited for it. These are 2 really good teams. Where is my scoreboard? What is happening? Oh, my goodness. Here we go. So, it was a close one here today. Just a good, classic, tight game, right? This is what a playoff game should feel like, in my opinion. Just a solid game to watch overall today. Just good baseball, right? Not the most not the most offense, but you got a pretty good amount of pitching on both sides. And Bradish, he looked amazing right off the bat. He was striking out guys left and right. That place was electric. If you were at that game today, you were probably feeling the energy in there. Man, it looked awesome. All right, and Bradish, he looked just something else, man, starting that game off. But Evan Carter, he came up and said, "Nah, excuse me. I'm gonna put a dent in this crowd's energy a little bit." Evan Carter came up. He drove in the run there. Jonah Heim had another base hit. So Rangers coming up with some runs in the early going after a few innings of Kyle Bradish just dominating. So it looked like that second time through the order, that's when they kind of figured them out a little bit more. The Rangers actually, they had an opportunity to really break it open there. They had the bases loaded, but in the end, Marcus Semien struck out with the bases loaded. So it looked like maybe that game could have been busted wide open at one point. But the Orioles, that's what I'm saying. The Orioles are that team where they're so hard to beat, right? They're so hard to get runs on, right? It's in those tight situations. They're really good in those high leverage situations. They know how to kind of keep things close. The Orioles did chip away there. They had Mountcastle with the double in the fourth, made it 2-1. But then another young guy, Josh Young. You got Evan Carter having a great postseason so far. Josh Young, though, came up in the sixth, made it 3-1 with the homer. Josh Young, I just tweeted out today, imagine this lineup in the next couple of years, with Corey Seager, Semien, Carter, Young, Wyatt Langford eventually. Oh, this Rangers lineup is something else. And you got these other guys like Lowe, Hyde. This Rangers lineup is just nasty. And they're not even at their final form. That's scary. But Santander for the Orioles, he's had a really underrated year. He's been really good this year. It kind of dawned on me. It was his first postseason. He's going into his first postseason now. And then he in the beginning of the year, early on, played in his first World Baseball Classic, got a home run there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Homering in the World Baseball Classic, first time appearance in the postseason, homering. So Santander, he loves the big moments. So in the end, though, the one thing that the people love to get onto about the Rangers, especially in the second half of the season, the bullpen, and they locked it down. Bullpen was phenomenal today. The Rangers bullpen, I told all of you this. In September, the Rangers bullpen was actually pretty good. They were actually number one in Fangraph WAR. So I'm just saying, the Rangers bullpen, say what you will. I still keep seeing people saying whatever about the bullpen, but I don't think people realize. I think they're still stuck in August where they were blowing saves left and right. They were really good in September, and they still looked really good today. I will say, Aroldis Chapman today, he had that one moment there where he was looking really rough. He couldn't throw a strike. He was throwing wild pitches. It was looking like old Aroldis Chapman, but then he got a big double play, and then he struck out Mountcastle, had the tying run on third. Chapman giving you the good old Aroldis Chapman heart attack, but he actually came through with it today. He locked it down. So, but in the ninth inning, Gunnar Henderson getting on base, getting the base hit. Wow, getting thrown out at second. Who is making that call about Gunnar Henderson stealing second in the ninth with Jonah Heim behind the plate? In my opinion, I don't know who made that call. Was that Gunnar Henderson? I don't think that would be him. I would think that's a coaching call. I would think that's coming from the dugout. That, to me, is a bad call. I'm not running on Jonah Heim in the ninth inning. I'm going to try and maybe get him over. Even if I got to give up an out, get the sacrifice, move him over to second, put him in scoring position, because to me, you should not be running on Jonah Heim. That's a really bad idea, in my opinion. I think I would imagine that's got to be on the coaching staff, right? They're probably making those calls. I don't think Gunnar Henderson is just stealing on his own. I saw people saying that today. I don't think that's something that, especially a rookie, would be making that kind of a call on his own in that high leverage of a spot. And then in the end, Leclerc got the save. Bullpen was phenomenal for the Rangers today. 5 1/3, 1 earned, 6 Ks. Man, just good, solid game today. Orioles battled there until the end. But in the end, this Rangers team, they're not looking like that team that almost completely fell out of the playoffs. And they're looking they're looking nasty here. So, taking a look here at the Zips projections. So now the Rangers have a 65.9% chance to win this series. And this is exactly the game they needed to win. I expected Bradish to get the game 1 win in Baltimore. But you got the win with Heaney starting today. That's crazy. I mean, that's good on the Rangers for, battling like they did. Sure, give the Orioles the credit for trying to come back there in the end. They chipped away, but the Rangers, give them all the credit, right? Coming into a tough place like this in Baltimore, on the road, raucous crowd, just getting it done. Now they got Jordan Montgomery for game 2. Then you got Nathan Eovaldi for game 3. They look great against the Rays. In the end, the Rays still won 99 games. I had people on Twitter today saying, oh, that Rays team wasn't really the same. Yeah, maybe it's not the same team as what they were in the beginning of the year, but they were playing well in that last month. That wasn't, sure, they handled the Rays rather easily, but still not a cakewalk by any means. So the fact that Montgomery and Eovaldi pitched well against those guys, and now you got those for games 2 and 3. What I do like for the Orioles is you do have Grayson Rodriguez. I do like that. I love Grayson Rodriguez's stuff. He's nasty. But he is a rookie at the end of the day. So he's going to have to come up big. He's going to have to find a big moment for himself. He's going to have to pitch a dandy tomorrow. And it's not going to be easy against Jordan Montgomery. So let's actually see here with Jordan Montgomery. I believe he has had a start against Baltimore this year. Baltimore. Maybe he hasn't, actually, because he was coming from the National League. No, he hasn't started against Baltimore this year, so that's going to be his first start. Grayson Rodriguez has gone against the Rangers this year. I believe that was his debut. Yeah, he was in Texas in his debut, so that's pretty cool. That's a nice little narrative right there. First major league start against Texas. Now he's going up against Texas in his first postseason start. Nice little narrative. But he has done... He did okay against Texas there, but if you remember, he got lit up by Texas in May. I know that was kind of a long time ago, so 3 1/3 there. He gave up 9 runs in that one. And I think that's the last time he went up against Texas. So he's definitely looking for some redemption there at home against this lineup. So let's see what Grayson Rodriguez can do. I'm very excited to watch him pitch. He's going to need to step up. He's going to have to at least give you 5, right? Give you 5 decent innings. Keep the Orioles within striking distance. Try and let the bullpen close it out. But right now, I think you have to lean the Rangers at this point just because they, with the 1-0 lead, and then you got your 2 best guys going 2 and 3. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But let's do a poll here. Let's actually check on the last poll. I asked who will win game 2 between the Twins and the Astros. So you guys got the Astros game 2. You like Framber Valdez. All right. So not the majority is not thinking the Twins will tie this series. So let's do one more poll. Who will win game 2 between the Orioles and the Rangers? I cannot type. Who will win game 2? Here we go. Rangers and the Orioles. And I want to touch on one thing before I do get out of here, so I'll come back to this poll in just a little bit. But did anyone see the comments made today by Ross Atkins with the Blue Jays? Are you kidding me? This guy's a clown. What is he doing here today? Like, this was an abysmal press conference for him today. They talked about the managerial decision of pulling Jose Barrios, and he basically defended it. He doubled down on it. He said, regarding the decision to pull Barrios, Atkins emphasized that in-game decision-making is a role that belongs exclusively to Schneider, saying that the front office did not influence Schneider's game plan for the club's pitching staff, other than maybe it was an organizational strategy that had been communicated to players. So he basically just outed himself with that next line, other than maybe it was an organizational strategy. So you did have an influence on the game calling. So you're basically saying right there that you have all talked as an organization about what to do in those situations. So Ross Atkins, what are you doing? Ross Atkins, I don't think you have any idea what goes through the minds of a baseball player. I'm sorry. It's a completely ridiculous decision for pulling Jose Barrios in the first place. The guy had 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. He had some nasty stuff going on. What was it? He walked the guy, and then that's when you decided to pull him and bring in Yusei Kikuchi? Sorry, you don't pull out Jose Barrios after 3 innings when he was looking really good. You stick with your guy. That was a horrible call. But also one other thing with Atkins' comments today is he said the fact that he said the front office did not influence Schneider's game plan for the club's pitching staff. So he's basically saying he threw Schneider under the bus. So he threw Schneider under the bus, and then he made himself look like a complete moron because he ended up saying that it was an organizational strategy. So this is obviously something that has been communicated to the coaching staff, which you have obviously been a part of. So you not only did you throw Schneider under the bus, but you made yourself look like a complete buffoon. Ross Atkins, go eat a sandwich. You are done. You are done. You are done. I don't know what else to say about that one. To me, I don't see why any player that has aspirations to win a championship would want to go to Toronto at this point, because you just saw what the coaching staff did. Now it's also been said that Schneider will be brought back for next year. Why would anyone want to go to Toronto as a free agent? Why? You see how they're operating here? Why would you want to go play here? I think they're going to have a hard time bringing in some free agents this offseason. I think it's going to be a hard offseason for them because this is not a good look. Not a good look. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he looked completely ridiculous with the statement today. What's up with these guys with the press conferences? Like Dipoto going over the 10-year plan. Like the plan is to win 54% of the time or whatever he was saying. And it's like, dude, that's not what you should be talking about. Like, what are you talking about? It's very simple. We failed. We need to get better. It's the boring answer. But the fact that you're saying more than you need to say, it's like these guys are just, they don't know how to talk with these people. It's like crazy. And it's like you're trying to, what's with the doubling down from these organizations? What's with the Mariners doubling down on how they're approaching things? What's with the Blue Jays? This is even worse than what the Mariners were doing with Dipoto. This is horrible. Like the fact that you're doubling down on a brutal call and then you throw your manager under the bus and then you also outed yourself at the same time when you didn't even realize it. Like, come on. You look ridiculous. Dulce Marist, you are right about that. They do have dollar hot dogs. Dollar hot dogs at Tuesday games. Dollar hot dogs. Just saying. That's not bad, actually. But that's all I got for tonight, everyone. That's all I got. I'm going to start getting out of here. But actually, I do want to go over our sponsor tonight, and that is Underdog Fantasy. Before I do get out of here, I just want to go over my results with all of you today. So Underdog Fantasy, it's daily fantasy. You can do pick'ems. You can do drafts. If you're not into doing the season-long fantasy, Underdog Fantasy is one of the better places, in my personal opinion, to go for daily fantasy. You can do daily drafts. I've done daily drafts, but I've been into the pick'ems lately, and especially for the postseason. So taking a look at my results here for today, and, I don't know. Even though I do like Underdog Fantasy, I'm not good at some of these picks. I went 2 for 5 on my picks today. I actually underestimated Bradish. I thought Bradish was going to have a good start today. I just didn't think he was going to get more. I didn't think he was going to get 6 strikeouts. I thought he was someone maybe went 6 innings today, give up a couple of runs, and then strike out like 5. I didn't think he was going to have a bad start. I just didn't think he was going to get over the 5.5 strikeouts. He ended up finishing with 9. He was looking nasty. I saw him striking out the guys in the beginning, and I'm like, oh no. Well, there goes that one. Heaney, I got that one right. I thought he was going to get less than 4 Ks. Verlander, I thought he was going to get at least 7 strikeouts today. He fell short, got 6. Strider, I knew he was going to have a good one today. It's Spencer Strider at the end of the day. Game 1 in Atlanta, I saw a good start. Merrill Kelly, I thought the Dodgers actually did score a couple runs there at the end, but I thought the Dodgers were going to put up some more runs today. I thought there was going to be a lot of offense today. Little did I know that the Diamondbacks would be scoring all the runs today. So, My goodness. But I went 2 for 5 on my picks today. But tomorrow, we got more baseball on tomorrow night. We got the division round, but we also got football on tomorrow night. So I know we're a baseball channel here, but all the pick'ems here are right there for the taking for the NFL tomorrow. All the games starting at well, actually, we got a morning game. Do we have a morning game tomorrow? 9:30 in the morning. Is that in England? I'm guessing that's an England game. I'm guessing it must be, right? But stay away. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's in London. So you got the Jaguars, you got the Bills. So there's a whole bunch of pick'ems there. So don't pick any of my Patriots players. They're just awful. So don't do any of that. But you can make up to 5 picks, and the more picks you make, the more it can multiply the earnings, right? You can even do insurance picks. So if you make 5 picks overall, if you get 4 of them right, you'll still win. So go check it out. The link is in the description down below. Again, if you use my code Hyde at sign up, you get a double on your first deposit up to $100. So everyone, I'll be back here tomorrow night. Let's check on that poll real quick. Let's see the final results. Who will win Game 2? Right now, 59% of you saying the Rangers taking Game 2. Man, oh man, the Orioles got to win that one in my opinion. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any Super Chats. Okay, so we actually got one from Bryce McIntyre. How you doing? $4.99. It is actually insane that the Astros have a catcher in Yainer Diaz who is far better than Maldonado on the bench. Yeah, the thing with Maldonado is that he's just really good with the pitchers. He's very good with the pitch calling. They're very comfortable with him. He calls a great game. So that's why you're going to see Maldonado despite the weaker bat. So, but anyway, I'm out of here, everyone. I'm going to wrap this up here, but I'll be back here tomorrow night doing some more recaps. I want to thank you all for the Super Chats. We had like 6 Super Chats here tonight, so thank you. It's always greatly appreciated. But everyone, have yourself a great night. Enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Watch some football tomorrow. It is baseball. See, it's postseason season. Is that the right way to say it? Anyway, watch all the sports tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll talk to you next time.